All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for your patience, patience, patience. This was testing the microphone. Everything looks all good. So, let's jump right in. My nose is a little bit scratchy with the allergies, so don't mind me. Um, okay. So let me clear all this and all that and all this and all that and all this and all that and all this and all that. Also, I should message you. Um, I should message you. Okay. So let me find you. Hold up 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Um, I need to use something really quick. Okay. So so yeah, Mo, as I'll call you. Sun in Leo, Moon in Cancer. Wow, powerful with a algol Taurus rising and North Node in Scorpio at 0 degrees. So you're going through some very karmic times. Very, very karmic times for you. Um, Born in 95. I love my younger than me at least. Um, I guess 95 is not like so young, but you know what I mean. Okay, I just need to do this one thing really quick. It is 2727272727. I just had a reading. I started doing your reading, and then I realized that the client from last night that she had sent me an email. I just remembered just out of nowhere. Okay, so I did like a extra video answering questions from email that I forgot to um, officially address in comp reading. Okay, so just need to do this. But yeah, so okay, what a strong chart. Damn. So you got your sun and your moon in dignity. You know how rare that is? The sun is working best in Leo, and the moon is working best in Cancer. So those are the native sign of the sun is Leo, and the native sign of the moon is Cancer, and that's what you have. So one could say you have the best chart or the best sun and moon if that's how astrology was, right? That's not how it is. Okay, I just need to send this over. Okay, so this is the extra 10 minutes. Okay, and then I need to, excuse me. I'm the kind of person that like, I just have so much on my dinner plate that I have to do things or else, it's not good. So she want me to, okay, here it is. No, that's not it. Um, what the heck is it? Okay, it should be right here. I just need to, what the heck? Where is it? Okay, so that's gotta be it. Um, yeah, wait, that's not it. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so I need to go to, wow. Okay, so anyways, basically, yeah. So having a sun in Leo is very strong. Um, it creates someone who, I don't really like to go into sun signs here, like about your Leo sun. I like to go more like lean more into like how it works with your Cancer moon. 1 second. 4, 3, 5, 8. Okay, so that's done. We are right rolling. We are rolling. We are rolling. Okay, so um, okay, so yeah, basically it is a very very strong position of the sun. And basically like to have the double dignity here. It creates someone who is extremely capable on both of it's like someone who can really meet their emotional needs. um and also it's a third house moon with Venus there, and wow, excuse me, Venus is a chart ruler, and Mercury, so they're all in the third, so you're able to really communicate your emotions, right? So that's really really important to be able to do that, because a lot of Cancer moons can kind of bottle it up a little bit, and that's not good. But in the third house, it means that it comes naturally to speak about your emotions. You might even be, some, it might even be prominent in your line of work, perhaps, right? Um, so the sun in the fourth house in Leo, it makes you really want to shine, but a lot of your life purpose will be like in a very Cancerian type, because fourth house is Cancer, right? Will be very much in the context of what might be more hidden, more like um related to the home, to the family, even, and we'll see what else backs or doesn't back this up, to breaking generational curses. The amount of times that I've had clients where I see that in their chart, I'm like, yo, I must attract this, because goddamn. Um, I don't just say things. So Okay. That up. Okay. So let's go ahead. Everything's hidden. Let's share. Let's share the screen. So you can see your chart. Let's get the aspect grid showing. So yeah, fourth house sun, which the IC, which is very interesting because you're from Australia. So yeah, in a Placidus, you probably have like a. I want to see your chart in Placidus. Because, damn, I do whole sign. And if you've had a reading before, usually astrologers use Placidus. So, wow. Um, hmm. The moon is in the second, and the sun's in the third in this one, which is very interesting. But still, you have the fourth house, yeah. All right. I just want to kind of have this saved in my memory. Okay. Let's go back. I wish I have. I guess I probably can I copy the chart. Copy and edit chart. Wow, I can have both. That's cool. So, anyways, set up. So yeah, basically because you're 26 degree rising in Placidus, you see it starts here. So this like moves here and everything shifts over like down, like counterclockwise or clockwise, excuse me. So yeah, it changes things. But in essence, you have the third house is about communicating. It's about really speaking your mind, right? And learning. And it, people who have heavy third houses are very intelligent. They're able to see different sides, which is different perspectives, which is key for your chart. Well, I guess you have all the elements. You have air, you have your Libra Mars, and you have your Earth ascendant, your water and fire. Yeah, so you have all four elements, you guys. All four elements. That's a well balanced personality. Um, I don't have to give you a speech of like, if you don't have, this element, you need to do this more, blah blah. So basically, looking for aspects. So the moon is unaspected, which makes even more sense. Because an unaspected moon, let me just double check with my eyes, because sometimes this will lie to me. Yeah, nothing. Yeah. Unaspected moon in the third house in Cancer, I think it would make someone who is able to really, really speak from the depths and not necessarily be that held back. But then your Mercury is ultra aspected. Um, Mostly harmonious aspects, but still. But you see how here the moon, there's just nothing, and then like all like Sun, Mercury, Venus are full of aspects. Well, that's because they're all in this block and they're opposing this, and Also making some nice harmonious aspects to other parts, like your beautiful sun exact sextile with Mars. I digress. So the Leo Cancer, let me put my face up on. You see your chart. The Leo Sun Cancer Moon person would most definitely benefit from the power of the Leo Sun and the emotional power, emotional ability to meet one's emotional needs of Cancer Moon. So there's also though one's fire, one's water though, which is how it should be, or should not should, but like like that's what you ideally, if you're like building a baby, I don't know. Maybe you'd say I want them to have a Leo sun and a Cancer moon, right? Because it creates a very high achieving person. Because like put together, like Leo is very, very, very generous, right? At a high vibe. And the Cancer is the mother, it's the nurturer. So you're the nurturer, right? So it can be someone who's really sacrificing themselves, right? Very generous. So yeah, very like innate compassion, sensitivity, but very creative too. The moon in Cancer unaspected, it makes it so the moon is not, and this is like if you of all planets, the moon is the one that you don't want to have any aspects with, right? Or any important aspects, because the moon is the most important part of your chart, because it's really how you live within yourself. It's your inner environment, your emotions. It's what you need to be happy, what you need to be um feel comfortable, right? So unaspected moon, um it can really magnify the needs. This is one thing also, it can really magnify the needs of the moon sign. So like a good example is Steve Jobs. I know this because I looked at his chart recently. His moon is Aries, right? But it was unaspected. So he had that kind of need to be number one, right? So in Cancer, it can be that in third house, that need to be nurturing, that need to help, that need to be of to be that the person that people come to, the healer, the eternal mother, the good friend, the caregiver, all these things, right? It's also very creative. You can't pass the Cancer's ability. It's water, it's in touch, very intuitive, very in touch with all these different things that water signs are in touch with. In the early childhood, very attached to their family. um Family is a huge word for Cancer moons, right? So another thing is there's a possibility of emotional disconnection from the parents typically, but when it's Cancer, um probably not. Let's be real. There's probably most likely a very strong connection to the mother. Um and I would imagine a quite beautiful one. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. But really there's also a need to express that very nurturing, caring Cancerian moon self and connect to the world through that. So through the emotions, right? So, a lot of people are very frustrated because they have their moon blocked. You do not have it blocked. It's all free range. So with your Mercury and Venus in the same sign, we'll talk about your Mercury later, but because it has tons of aspects, but you know, the two hard ones are the oppositions of Uranus and Neptune. Oh, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But the majority of them were very positive. So the message would be able to be heard well. But Neptune and Mercury, I am not allowing myself to overlook a square mostly, but like an opposition also, because it can really distort the mind. I have seen it firsthand. And 1 second. Okay, weird. So yeah, more on kind of like, yeah, the Cancer, Leo. It's just like people can be jealous of people who have this type of energy because they can, they win, but sometimes they can accept too much responsibility, right? Um, as a Cancer moon. But they're very good at, like, okay, so this is a big word is self-acceptance, right? Leo sun, a shining example for others of how to be individuals, how to be themselves, how to be childish, how to just enjoy life. And a Cancer moon, a shining example in the third house of how to be vulnerable, of how to express your emotions, right? How to be real. So yeah, it creates a lot of confidence, typically. Um, so moon wise, there's that need for that loving family, large groups of friends that feel like family. And I keep thinking, the ancestral connection also. Like I keep thinking that when I think things like that, where's my other magical stone, the one I have on my neck? There's usually something there. Um, but like when you have fire and water, just in general, because I'm a Pisces Sag, right? So those are obviously squaring each other. Yours are back-to-back signs, but still, you have to understand that it can create a split in the personality where you have to understand the needs of both the Cancer side and the Leo side, right? And we'll get into the Taurus rising. But basically, the Leo is fire, it's action, it's fixed fire, so it's able to start and follow through, unlike Aries that starts and never follows through. Sag, can start a million things and not follow through. Leo can start things and have that follow through, right? But there's so many successful Leos. And yeah, it's really good for seeing the big picture when it comes to themselves and being realistic with it, right? Um and I think the beauty of it is that the potential narcissistic tendencies of a Leo will be held in check by the real um down to earthness, down to earth energy that a Cancer moon brings, right? So super loyal and compassionate are both of these together, right? And in love, it creates someone who's very, who's serious and very devoted to their partner. So, Cancer moons are the healers. They're very good at like feeling the undercurrent of like what someone else is going through. And having that, that stellium in the third house in Cancer, like you're literally an example for people of how to be brave, because Leo, you see how it's connecting? Leo is the brave sign, right? It's the heart of the fucking lion. So you're a shining example of how to be brave and just let the truth out, So that is massive. So yeah, typically people will really resonate with you. But you have to remember these two sides, because the fire can want to go out and do things and be very active and all that, and the water might want to be really introverted and stay at home all the time. And sometimes, like you have to make sure you're feeding both mouths, right? But with the sun in the fourth house, I'd imagine you, even as a Leo, being more of a homebody. That would be my guess. But we have to see the rest of the chart. This is just from the start. And being a Taurus rising, I imagine, yeah, that a lot of that Leo kind of fire comes from the comfort of the home. But we'll see. The rest says. So yeah. Um, Really good for success. Like, that it gives someone like a need for security. Like Cancer moons like do have that need for security. So that can be financial, that can be energetic, emotional, what just happened. Where just go? Okay. So yeah, with that Leo sun, there can be like much energy invested to like do whatever they need to do in the world, right? But they're not meant to like be like slaves to like the financial system or the 9 to 5 type shit, right? Um, but very good at making other people happy, you know? Um, so with Leos, I mean, intimacy is very essential. Um, and you know, they'll want it from their partner, especially the Cancer moon, right? They'll want that level of closeness, and honesty. Honesty is like, you know, that is like the number one thing, right? Emotional and physical honesty, right? So, um, that the thing there going back to it is like the Leo wants to be, social, but the Cancer wants to be alone, spend time alone. So it's like finding that balance, right? Um, and then with a partner, they have to understand that, right? Because like, yeah, the Leo want to like kind of be in the spotlight, and the Cancer wants to just be at peace inside themselves and is very modest. So I like how that kind of like checks and balances, right? Um, so great listener. Um, love, usually the Leo part will love and love to be in the company of others, and then that Cancer moon can create those deeper connections. Um, and Cancer moons are very good at keeping secrets because they're very private people themselves, so you can depend on them. Um, and I think this just kind of creates like some real realism. Um, so that's really good. Yes, man. That's really not right now. So aside from that, yeah, just like romantically, they're very caring. They're very just like, it's very good for self-love to have this combo. So they kind of, yeah, they have that, which is obviously the biggest advantage ever, because then you're happy alone, so you attract others. Um, but usually the Cancer part will kind of keep one away from like the chaotic situations. But they'll want to be able to express their inner child and their creativity and their emotions within the relationships. Because they're children, Leos are children, right? So they really can be the perfect partner. But they require a lot of attention, right? But also the moon in Cancer likes to take care of they like to being taken care of someone. So um but they are very private at the same time. So it's not like they're just gonna like do that to anyone. Um and the whole thing with cancer is that if once they're hurt one time, it can be very, very hard for them to truly open up. Wait a second. To truly open up, right? Again, it's um the whole crab crawling back in the whatever you call it in the shell. Hold on. I literally haven't like taken one break, so excuse me. I've literally just but I've got that energy. I just need to know what time the national championship is for basketball, for college basketball, 4:20 a.m. That time. A lot of time. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Um okay, sorry, I had a important family matter to deal with. Um so yeah, I mean, we get it. We understand. Um we understand that the Leo Sun Cancer Moon has that deep heart. Also, she can be pretty much successful in any realm, very persuasive, very generous. Um but also you don't fuck with her, because she can be very wrathful. Um Very emotional. So, Cancer Moon's gonna be very emotionally led. And with the third house, it can come out into the words. So it'd be good to have like you know, it'd be good to have an outlet. Um, yeah, it'd be very good to have an outlet. Um, so yeah. Um, yeah. Another thing is yeah, just the whole ability to meet your own emotional needs, and really contemplate the depths of life. And Leo's about creativity, so it could literally be like tying all of that into whatever you create, authentic self-expression. So, another thing about Cancer moons is like the past and memories, childhood, all that. Like they can get very melancholic. So and very like things like family traditions, all that. It's like important, So yeah, very, very protective of the family, very protective of the family, and who, like Cancer means like who they allow in their life. It's like a big deal. So yeah, that's kind of how I see those two. Now, the sun is really aspected a lot. But let's talk. Okay, well, first of all, you have algol, the famous algol, the infamous algol, rising. Have I seen? I know I have, but like not in recent memory have I seen someone who has algol, Medusa's head, rising on the ascendant. Let's see how close it is, though. Is it freezing the computer? What the heck? Oh my god. Well, I guess my computer is kind of freezing. Okay, there it is. So, let me see. Let me pull it up. So it is half a degree away, essentially. A little bit more than half a degree away. So, and while I'm at it, I might as well check up on, is it Sirius conjunct your moon? No, ooh, you have a lust on your moon. That's the sexiest asteroid ever. By the way, I say that I have no idea what you look like. I say this to every client. I don't know. In fact, I have to watch out because when I imagine when I do readings with people, like let's say I know someone who has the same first name as you, I have to make sure I'm not imagining their energy, Um, because I do know people who who have your first name. I have a friend with your first name. Um, so but yeah, I like you could show me, 5 people. I win $1 million if I get it right. Maybe I would just by knowing your chart, but I have no idea of how you look. I've never looked at your profile. I do this on purpose with every client because I want to be completely objective and show, what my interpretation of astrology is. But lust, doing something to the chart is like it's the most seductive and sexy. My girlfriend has it rising, and she is super like she's extremely sexy, but it's to the point where like guys, like she's had stalkers. Um, Guys can become very easily obsessed with her. Um, and it's a very sexual energy, so it makes, yeah, obviously on the ascendant it's different than the moon, but on the moon it would just make, in Cancer, you know, um, it would add that kind of elements of sexual desire and kink or whatever you want to call it to kind of the emotions. So yeah. So lust, and where Yeah, I would say like hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of like what I would associate that with. Um, I'm trying to look for something. Yeah, I mean, I like to keep it simple. Um, and just having that, prominent in your chart, it's just like um just yeah, it's like the raw instinctual kind of passionate sexuality. So it just makes someone a freak. um but like the moon, um it's more hidden, right? So yeah, it's more hidden, so it's kind of interesting, right? It's more hidden, so it's like it might not be something that people kind of know about until later. um I'm still looking for this one thing I found not too long ago. Yeah, finally. It's a Tumblr post. I don't look at much stuff when I do readings, but why is it making me freaking sign up? Jesus. Jesus. Don't make me make a freaking name. Oh my god. No, I don't want to fucking blog. Is there no choice? Oh, you need clearance for that. That's annoying as fuck. But yeah, I mean, I already know the answer. I just want to like sing it in someone else's words. Um, but I have to like open this open this like thing on Google, and this like pop-up window comes up like really quick, and I just have to beat it. But it keeps beating me. Um, okay, here we go. This is the time. No. Okay. So yeah, boom. So yeah, sex is a means of emotional expression is what it said. I beat you. Um, so yeah. So lots of like, yeah, a mix of, it's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Um, then let's see with these other planet 25, 29. So the billionaire degree is 29 degrees Cancer, and that's where your Mercury is. So maybe you're someone who's able to, and your sun is very close. Like some of the richest people are like their birthdays are like where your birthday is. Star of Cancer, end of there's end of Cancer, start of Leo, and your Mercury's on that exact degree. So yeah, someone you definitely can kind of like if you did like sales or anything like anything that relied on your communication, like woo, game over. Okay, I usually do this later in the reading, but I'm looking for any conjunctions of asteroids or fixed stars. I like star because there's so many. Okay, so none there. Okay, nothing. Ooh, so Cupido conjunct descendant. So you definitely there's kind of descendant Scorpio with Pluto on it. Like there's definitely like an undercurrent of freakiness. I don't know how to say it. Seduction. That's seductiveness to you. But I feel like it's very like it's not. It's like it's very Cancer moony. It's like it's not. It's very like people don't get to see it. So Jupiter is close to Antares. It's not. It's not close enough. Eh, within. Yeah. I mean, it's at 5:30 Antares. Yeah. It's like 4 degrees away. A little influence, but not much. Mhm. Okay, here's the big. Oh, I got excited. No, I mean, okay, so it barely counts. So okay, Fomalhaut is one of the four royal stars, and it is conjunct your midheaven, which ascendant midheaven are too much important for the stars, but it's not. I read. I thought it was close. And it was. It's still, 2.5 degrees away around. A little less than 2.5 degrees, but you know, still, and you have Markab on Saturn. Like royal stars have larger orbs, and it's approaching it, which is more important. But yeah, so okay, so some big stars. I usually do this last, like I said, but why not? Why not roll into it? So yeah, Fomalhaut is about divine, like it's like the most creativity. So someone who has that could be like an artist, literally. It's really linked to like the most of like divine and inspiration and creativity. It's super fortunate. And to have your midheaven there, it creates great and lasting honors, right? In a very illustrious life, and the royal stars are associated with fame and just like public prominence, like being seen very well publicly. Like for example, LeBron, he has his midheaven with Mars, of course, Mars on the midheaven conjunct Fomalhaut, right? Um, so yeah, it's very, very good for making money and having success like in your own city, like where you're from. Um, and it's just great for, like on the artistic kind of vibe also, to have a potential like career in the arts or career that really like has a lot of real beauty, and fate plays a big role in it. So a very important mission. So algol rising. So everyone's afraid of algol because it's the Medusa myth, right? Now, what I tell people is, look, it's a very, people are afraid of algol, for right reasons, because it can be very evil and whatnot. But esoterically, it's really about information that blows your mind. It's about like real transformation. So a Taurus needs that, right? So like, yeah, not a lot of Tauruses are big on that, right? Like a lot of like algol people are like working in the mass media. So it makes someone vocal. So algol ascendant can create like very dramatic relationships. Algol opposite descendant. Very intense, dramatic. Definitely a sex like once again, sex comes up again. I swear I don't talk about this like I try to avoid it honestly, but like I just whatever comes up comes up. There can it's linked to like sex addiction potential. And there's like usually like a very like they might not like be like the like fit like the traditional beauty standards. But they have this real like kind of hard to pin down attraction to them, an appeal, right? Um, like very alluring. It can even be shocking, but it's like it pulls people in. Um, and the cool part about it is that they do not shy from confrontation, and they do not shy from being outspoken about whatever they believe in, even if it's like taboo subjects, right? And they do not shy away from controversy. So, yeah, it's a really really powerful star when you use it in the right way, which is towards enlightenment, kind of, right? Towards rewriting the story about Algol from this like beheading um to transmutation, because it is a very unfortunate star. But remember, everything is free will meets the chart. So yeah. Uh and it is definitely going to give success um and glory, and it can also give fame. So it's kind of similar to the Fomalhaut one. Um but yeah. Um yeah, like it can make someone very rich, especially like in real estate. Um so yeah, very good like for that energy. So yeah. Okay. Um, so back to kind of the basic parts. Oh yeah, and then Cupido. So yeah, Cupido conjunct Pluto and descendant in Scorpio. It's like you have a real kind of flirtatious, scorpionic kind of side to you, that comes out in relationships, and that's kind of what you attract and what you look for, what works for you. With that said, so Mercury, I said 29 degrees in the billionaire degree. You've mastered, you are like a PhD in the Cancer, like, so the abilities. So you have to watch out, Black Moon in Gemini. Watch out for your amazing emotional intelligence. Like, watch out for like the lowest vibe is you using that to kind of like trick people, and be two-faced, right? That's the Black Moon Lilith. It's not an existing energy, it's just a potential. But then part of fortune's conjuncted. So it's like that's giving light to something very dark. and kind of saying that like when you are in your own power, second house, and you're speaking your truth and you're spreading your wings, but also in a grounded, like you found, like you have values that you stick to, you subscribe to these values, you don't like switch up, and there's not an obsession with the external, like it's a balance between external and internal, right? That's you in your flow state, right? But there's so much in your chart that's just like great for money. Like I definitely wouldn't be worried. Even being, yeah, like Venus rule, like those royal those stars I just read, like come on. Like you can go on my YouTube and watch my other readings. Like you have Jupiter in the eighth house. That's like really, really amazing for inheritances, you know? So yeah. Um, so anyways, well, the sun, I have no idea. Let my timer keep going. I have no idea where I'm at. Probably about like an hour and no idea, whatever. So the sun, so okay, going through the aspects of the sun. So it has a conjunction with, yeah, Mercury that's a combust in different signs. So there you have to watch out for lacking objectivity. So once again, there's that need to really make it like to make sure that you know understand that different people have different truths, right? Um, and give yourself time to kind of see that other person's perspective, because the combustion can make someone lack objectivity. Um, with the Venus conjunct Sun, that's just a beautiful aspect because it just makes someone very. It makes that Leo energy just like gentle and loving, and it adds, yeah, it's beautiful. And it's a ruling planet. Um, very affectionate, very, very, very artistic. If you're not artistic, a love for the arts, and yeah, and then having those two conjunct, Mercury and Venus, what a blessing! The gift of gab, which is all over your chart. It makes you express yourself in a very loving manner, right? It's already in Cancer, so I imagine you have if I had to guess, I imagine you have like a very beautiful voice. I'm not saying singing voice; I can't predict that. At least I can't. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if you did. You have a very healing voice. Um, and you really enjoy talking with people. And it makes you, on the other end, a very, very good listener. So there's a real nice mix of passive and assertive. That's like, so cool. Um, so I was going with the sun. Okay, it's sextiles Mars exact degree, 2 degrees Libra to 2 degrees uh and then it trines Jupiter 5. Wow, okay. So Mars forms a midpoint of that. 1 second. And what the fuck is that aspect pattern called? I know, is it? I know the word is the I. It's very obvious, but I just never really gave a fuck about the names of aspect patterns. I just kind of understand them. Oh, here it is. I probably should just spend like the little bit of time it would take me to memorize all of the names. Um, so it's basically like a trine with a sextile between. It's very simple. No, 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 no. No. Here's more. It's a very simple, guys. whatever. Do I need to know the name? Is there any? Let's see if there's anything else though, because it has this, and then Saturn. Oh, water. Okay, so there's a grand trine between Saturn, Venus slash Mercury, and Pluto. So you have a grand trine, and then 24. Two grand trines because you have Chiron, Neptune ascendant, Neptune slash Uranus ascendant. There's two grand trines. Wow. Okay, and then so two grand trines, and then there's this thing. And is there a mystic triangle? Ooh. Oh, it's and then there's the sextile there. Holy shit. And then this, and is there something for the Saturn in, is there a sextile for the Saturn? Yep. And then let's go back. Wait. So it's what is this called again? Where there's the grand trine, and then there's sextiles in every direction. That's so fucking rare. I'm not wrong. I just need to double check this. Yeah, two, and then two, and then two, and then two, and then two. Whoa. And then and then there's the oppositions too, which are naturally built in. So, okay, I need to find out what is this? Is it this one? Wait, do, is it this? Is it the grand hexagon? So it has all these. It has this. So naturally it has these. Yeah. Wow. And then these oppose. Yep. And yeah, you have a grand fucking hexagon. First ever for me. Holy shit. That's crazy. Which means that is connecting. I'm gonna show you. Look at this shit. If you knew this, I'm sorry, but like I've never seen one of these. Okay, look. I know not all these. Like I wish I could like remove like the asteroids in here, or the points that like aren't, that I wouldn't let apply. But okay, so look at this. This is crazy. So a grand trine is, so look, 24 Pisces. Basically, okay, so you have a water grand trine, right? 24 Pisces, 25 plus, so that trines, which is 120 degrees. These two, which also trines your 27 degree Scorpio, Pluto, and then that trines the Saturn, right? So that's one grand trine. Saturn, the water grand trine, right? Now also you have an Earth grand trine, but this Earth grand trine is opposite. Look, so it starts up here. It goes to your ascendant, so 26 Taurus. Then, like, you could say it's the Uranus, or the Neptune. It's really both. I guess the Uranus is. Oh no, it's like, which one's closer? 2642. The Uranus is. So ascendant Uranus / Neptune, and then Chiron, which definitely counts. So that's already you know, 2 grand trines. But this is what makes it even more wild, is that look at this. Everything, so because of how they're aligned, right? Forming that star. Look at this. Let's start from up here. So this 20 sextiles the Saturn, right? So we have the star. This connects the star, right? So a sextile is 60 degrees. It doesn't have to be spot on, like exactly, right? Close to it. So 24, and then the next one is here, the 26. So the Taurus attaches the ascendant. And then next, we need something to be around 26 Cancer. Well, right back here, your Venus and Mercury. So now we're back here. So now to complete the whole circle, we need something to be around 25, without, whatever, around that of Virgo. Well, what's Chiron? So this connects to here, 60 degrees, right? And then next, so we need something to be 26 degrees, or around 24, 20, whatever degrees of Scorpio. Pluto, 3 degrees away from exact. Crazy. And then the final one, it's already connected, is we need something, once again, to be around 27-ish degrees of Capricorn. Boom. You see that? That's wicked. And then these oppose each other, right? Then you have these oppositions, Chiron, Saturn, and then on the other side, which one is it? It's this one. It's the ascendant opposite, so Pluto. Yeah. So boop, 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 boop. But I'm like looking at this and like, is there more? Like, how could there be? Because already we have, like, let's see, the sun. Is there any? Yeah. Oh yeah. Because like already I was talking. What got me started on this was the fact that the 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 sun is implied in this trine with Pluto, and this with Mars in the middle. But there's no way it could be on both sides. Is there? So sun would have to be trine at 2 Leo. Saturn's at 24 Pisces. So that's different signs and 8 degrees away, but is there something sextiling? Let's see. This is crazy. No. I mean you can you can't really give 6 degrees away. Do they count it here? Ascendant and sun? I mean, it's a loose, but it still is like low-key existing. Oh my God. And then um wow. Wow. And then wait, hold up. There's no way. There's a trine or a square. Is there a square on both sides? So it'd have to be at 2. No, there's not. But is there sun? Yeah, and then you have it. Wow. You have so many aspects. And you have a T square of sun, um, sun, Uranus. Oh yeah, we don't really use the nodes for aspect patterns though, because they're not actual planets. But that's crazy. So this is what I was like looking up. I was like, what the fuck's the name of this thing? And look at that. That's what you have. Like that is so rare. I'll stop sharing now, but like I'm just blown away because that means that like the amount of plants implicated in this one aspect pattern are 1, 2, um, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it's just the ones that and then it just connects. They just connect on the other side. So the reason this exists is so yeah, 8 planets out of so the only ones that aren't a part of this party, and then on top of that, then you have the sun. The sun is involved because the sun it has its own aspect pattern. I think it's called the eye. I forget, but it's trining Pluto and sextiling um Mars in the middle. Um, so like I don't even know like is that can there be a grand hexagon with that added in there? That something? I know I'm the astrologer, I'm supposed to know, but this is like trust me, this is new territory. Like um crazy. I'm still trying to find the name. My gut is usually correct. Let's see if I'm right. The eye aspect pattern. Oh no, I was wrong. It's a smaller version of what I'm thinking. Well, whatever. I'm not gonna figure it out. But okay, 2 green semi-text thoughts. So it's like an eye, but bigger. Ugh. Let's see if I search aspect pattern. 2 sextiles, 1 trine. Is this it? Is it called a minor? Minor grand trine? Let's see if it is. Yeah, no. Yep. Okay, is one of okay, so a minor grand trine, also called a small talent triangle, and it's formed of a trine aspecting facing the core of the horoscope and 2 sextile. Yeah, that's it. Minor grand trine. And the minor grand trine has similar motivations and mode of action to the grand trine, but as an asymmetrical figure, it's more dynamic. It shows still developing talent as opposed to one already developed. So when you have that many grand trines, those are like fucking talents, right? But this is like more of a Venusian quality, apparently, right? Growth is achieved by adapting as far as possible without stress to enjoy the areas of life indicated by the planets. The appropriate properties are developed gradually into a distinctive and specialized talent and formed during your life. Usually, knowledge and skills are constantly accumulated by calmly absorbing experience into your consciousness, not through active exertion or hard work. Okay, well, that's important. I got like a repeat in my head. Usually knowledge and skills are constantly accumulated and calmly absorbing experiences into your consciousness, not through active exertion and hard work. So that reminds me of the whole projector and HD human design of like allowing the opportunities to come. I don't know if you are a projector, but yeah. So yeah, it's a very nice one. And in this case, it is between the sun, Pluto, and Mars. So the sun, like basically like that just gives you like extremely dynamic power to to get what you want. And the apex is Mars, so it represents your goal direction, right? Um so like Venus Williams actually has what you have, Mars as the apex of her minor grand trine. So being able to kind of like have that assertiveness, right? Like it gives you major power. Major power. Woof. That's crazy. Yo, your chart's fucking wild. Like, I'm blown away. Because the only planets that are not involved in this are um are Jupiter, right? Which is like Jupiter, the moon, which are both unaspected. Chiron. Yeah, Chiron. No, Chiron's part of it. No, don't get it twisted. And like the sun's an aspect is in the mini grand trine. That's fucking crazy. Holy fuck. Like really. I'm not just saying this. Like fuck. Fuck. A grand hexagon. God damn. I'm fired up. I love seeing this kind of shit or stuff. So I'm curious, being someone who, you know, if we take every piece of the grand hexagon, we understand that it's comprised of 2 grand trines. So we have to break down the grand trines. Then opposition, right? and the reason it exists is because of the fact that the apex of both grand trines are opposite each other. That's why this exists. Because a lot of times when you have a grand trine, you'll have one here and like, the other one like here, right? But you have one here and one like directly on top of it. Crazy. Um, so there's a lot going on. Um, there's a lot going on. I'm just looking because I'm like, is there no? How the fuck do I remove these like temporarily, like the part of fortune and black removal? I just want to see only the planets. I just don't want, but I also don't want to display trending points. No, I just don't want to fucking do something that. No, not transiting. Okay, current chart points. This guy be like just okay. So planet. Okay, so planets and plan and chart that I have. Let's try just planet. Oh, wait, that's leaving out Chiron. But I think I figured it out. This Chiron was very key. Okay, so if I go back to this, I need to put this in my fucking story. Fucking crazy. Wait, how the fuck did I do that? Current charts points. Okay, edit and add Chiron. Oh, I see. Um, okay. So I can say this and I'll be able to do this whenever I want to do it. Is there anything missing? Okay. Yeah. Now it's very clear. So now I can see everything. Oh my God. Wait, what? What's the North Node doing to Saturn? It's where, no, it's not doing. Why is it? Oh, no, that's a midheaven. Okay, that's crazy. So, wait, I'm gonna actually remove this. Because it's supposed to be just only planets. And where was the thing? It was here. That's where you get some fucking information about it. I mean, I know what I know based on just each part, but okay. It's so rare. There's like nothing about it. Why is it not showing me anything when I search it? Okay, I found one fucking tiny thing. Okay, and this person says, and then, okay. The Star of David is when there's the opposition, right? Let's see. The opposition of two grand trines. Let's see a picture of it. Star of David. Oh, is that? Yeah, so you have that. Is that just a different name to it? Let's see. Yeah. Um, that is fucking crazy. But I need to get like info. So is it a Grand Exicon or is it a Star of David or are they the same fucking thing? So two grand trines, which interlock to create a six-pointed star to intimidate his enemies and imply he was unbeatable. It was engraved on his armor. It must have worked because he seems to have won all the fights. Paul. In modern times, we still see the grand trine as a favorable pattern in the horoscope because it links all the qualities of a particular quadruplicity together. In all earth signs or all fire signs in 123 relationships, thus providing individual talents in particular areas. However, we also realize that while the grand trine implies a talent, it is a lazy aspect, and an individual with such a pattern may not do a great deal with it unless a large spur is applied to the backside, not kick in the butt. It's like having $1 million in gold buried in the backyard and being too lazy to go dig it up to open a business and become independent, blah, blah, blah. It takes some stress to force the individual to go get some gold to get to work, and then only as much is used as is necessary to cope with current emergencies. The owner simply cannot be bothered, blah, blah, blah. Fortunately, few people have grand trines with so little impetus. Most charts of the grand trines show one or more of the three key positions receiving a square in opposition. The hard aspects of square in opposition are exactly the spurs that work best with grand trines. Problems that come along regularly enough to keep the lazy aspect in rage. Oh, I see what this is. And using its talent. For King David, so it's like the two trines, right? But then because they're in such perfect alignment, the sextiles around basically create all of these talents, all of these very strong energies. Sextiles a smooth flowing aspect. And then that opposition down the middle is what gives that big kick in the butt. So for King David, two trines provided further talents, like linking two triplicities together in such a way as to create a series of sextiles. Yeah, 60 degrees of the aspect on the chart. The sextile is half as large in aspect as the trine implies potential to develop a talent. Many sextiles, such as this pattern, draw the individual into exploring a wide array of interests, some of which will be developed to become full-fledged talents, perhaps. Fuck, this is one of the craziest charts I've seen. In any case, the individual is more interested in the world and often more interested in others than would otherwise be the case. Wow. So yeah, as the planets, as you like go through them, they create many patterns in charts that have specific meanings. Charts with oppositions, blah blah blah. Tell us the individual must learn lessons, blah 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 blah. Okay. 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 It's not talking about anymore. Whew. Okay, I need to take a photo of this shit. This is crazy. Oh my god. Guys, look at this. Look at that. Have you seen it? Have you not seen the Star of David, the Grand Hexagon? Look at that. Grand Trine, and then Grand Trine. So, but they're in perfect alignment. So then you have this opposition down the middle, right? And then sextiles, one, everything sextiles each other. It's nearly every part of the chart that is part of this fucking crazy amazing thing that I've never seen in the client's chart. And I'm just like, oh, mind blown, like, god damn. And there's another aspect pattern. So even further, there's another aspect pattern, a mini grand trine, right? Um, which is the sun, which trines Pluto, and then you've got Mars, which is exactly sextile the sun, sextiling both in the middle. This chart is absolutely bonkers. And you got algol ascendant, you got fomalhaut close to the midheaven, you've got just a lot. 29 degree, like the billionaire degree, Mercury. Just look at like I took out all like I use way more than just these. But look at this with only the planets. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, sorry. I should also message you, tell you like, yo, your fucking chart is. Wait. Okay, there you are. Okay, good. I was scared for a second. I was like, "Did you follow me?" Okay. Okay. Anyways, so I'm just kind of like in astro awe, but I must keep myself from losing it completely. So yeah, I just want to, so star of David astrology. So why did it say grand? Okay, here's the answer. I thought the star of David was, yeah, it's when it has the duh, 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 duh. So, mm, okay. So is the Grand Hexagon, was that like a made up, or is it just another way of saying, okay, so we're gonna figure this out. Okay, blah, 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 all this stuff. Okay. So it says, so, one, two, and trines, each. Wait, wait, it's not talking about, yeah, yeah, this is it. So it is a Star of David or Grand Sextile, it says. Because, yeah, it's because everything sextiles. Um, yeah, everything sextiles. So let's get into, so now we're sure um of the name. I'm just making one change in my story. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Okay, so okay, this is crazy. Just texting my astrology. Oh, you messaged me back. I'm messaging you right now. Okay, so now I need to get serious. So yeah, so basically when everything connects with a sextile, um, it is the perfect mix. It's it says here that the Star of David shows a native protected in all that he or she does, but one who does not avoid internal reorganizations. He or she will change in form to adapt, but the inner essence remains constant. As she was in the cradle, such will be and in the grave. M. March and J. McEvers remarked that the hexagon configuration offers, well, yeah, I guess it is a hexagon. French, I should know. France is known as the hexagon. Offers natives exclusive opportunities and a brilliant ability to communicate with other people. The danger of a Star of David consists in expenditure of energy because the increased many-sided various interests, yeah, and the numerous opportunities. Intense part aspects can help with this difficulty. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, so when we look at everything, we break everything down. Basically, like your whole reading is essentially like breaking this aspect pattern down for the most part. We say okay. Um, the Grand Trine, okay, it's or the first one, it is Saturn, Pluto, and Mercury slash Venus, right? So um that makes someone who can love passionately, who can create like with organization and with obsession, and just um the same goes to their communication and their learning ability and their speaking ability, their creativity, like all that stuff, right? And in relationships, like there's that, yeah, it's just a really smooth flow of passion, um, you know, being able to have long lasting relationships, but also very like life changing ones. Um, being able to save money, and yeah, being able to speak in like a very dynamic, like powerful way that also is, like, as I said before, pleasant and responsible, and just like overall, just having the power of in like just massive intuitive powers like water grand trine and compassionate, all that stuff. Now the earth one is ascendant, um Uranus slash Neptune and Chiron. And if people were like, no, no, we can't count Chiron, okay, well, we could count Mars. Like it's in, it's not an Earth, but it's still a grand trine. But let's go with Chiron because Chiron fucking is fucking, it counts. um, so here, we've got the ascendant, so the personality, um, able to really, really heal itself, per se, right? like to heal itself and to provide healing for others, and to have a really healing effect on others, naturally, in a non-threatening way. And then with these two, the ascendant trining these other two, God, everything is aspect. It's such a connected chart, right? It makes you able to really express your own individuality very easily, right? But not in a way that kind of is threatening to people, very creative, who accepts other people very easily, non-judgmental, all that stuff, right? So that's cool. And yeah, so that, and then with Neptune, in the ascendant, yeah, it's just like kind of like adding more of that spirituality, of that essence, of that, kind of like it can make you not what you like it can make you like, can kind of give a little mystique. Yeah. And it's a trine, so yeah, it can really make you want to imprint your like dream and inspiration, imagination world onto your physical. It's fucking crazy. Um, so those together, that's like the talent of being able to uh to go through that algol transformation, and to heal others, and to be your own person, and to not conform to the typical earth energy, which can be a bit stagnant. But earth grand trines, they do give dependability, responsibility, all that. So then with every sextile, I mean, ascendant sextile, we can literally go in fucking order. um you know uh Ascendant in Saturn, that just gives responsibility, right? um it makes someone, yeah, who's able to be trusted and relied upon to get things done. um then, the outer planet ones, whatever, I don't go into them. But they still, do affect the aspect pattern. But that'd be like Saturn and like Uranus. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, should I talk about what that would be? Like, I guess like Saturn and Neptune. It's just like, yeah, being able to like, it's just about like being a service to humanity, basically. And kind of organize, and like care for causes, leadership stuff too, for causes you care about. Yeah. And then that connects to Pluto. So that's another one where it's like outer planets. I usually talk about the aspects, but for the sake, um, you know, because Pluto would be with Uranus. Um, that's just like a very generational one, right? So, that yeah, with like really like that energy playing out, like you really, really like being tapped into the zeitgeist, your generation. And then Chiron and Pluto is also similar. Um, so, you know, with Chiron Pluto, it's another one that's a little bit. Oh, I have a pain here, and that is, yeah. So that is, that's working, but I'm confused. But yeah, either way, like, and if you did because like I was saying, like Pluto, Mars, right, which is more of a prominent one, that is someone who, um wait, what am I talking about? Because wait, yeah, because you also have Jupiter sextile Mars. Crazy, crazy. So like, if you even had to, you could literally like add Jupiter and the Sun into this. That's what's crazy about this doll is that like, if you really had to, you could add I think every single planet besides the moon. Yeah, like if you took out Venus and Mercury, and it was like, okay, we have to make a grand trine out of Sun. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it would work. It'd kind of be iffy with Sun trine Saturn, but yeah, I mean, I would say like it's the Sun and the Sun has bigger orbs. You can use up to like 10, 10 degrees, and for this case, we're talking 8 degrees. So yeah, the Sun could be part of it, even though it's not in the same element, which is a big part of grand trines, but whatever. Anyways, then after, yeah, so like Mars and Pluto is, wait a minute, what am I saying? Yeah, Mars sextile Pluto, it just gives one like a big time ability to essentially it's kind of like ambition, follow through. When you really get into something, you just go all in, right? And then after that, Sun or we'll say, with Chiron and Venus and Mercury, that's like ultimate healer energy, right? With Venus and Chiron, it makes one like someone who just understands, especially in love, like the struggles and like the undercurrents of their partner. Um, and just in general, someone who can really feel into that. And with Mercury, um, it's someone who's able to, through their speech, through their words, just really, and I already said this, put like heal literally through their words, through their voice, like sound healing, anything. So then we go to so all those together, just like so many talents. That's like, okay, well, like, but like I was telling you before, like, okay, but like when you have that much going on, that many talents, it's like, can it make someone complacent? Um, right? Because then you also have like Mars trine Uranus. So that just makes one very, very like explosive in a good way, right? Like high energy levels where you can succeed in anything you do. And like really, really like kind of outside the box thinker also and doer. Um but then it's in Libra, the Mars, so you really consider kind of the needs of other people, and which is the air is definitely needed in your chart, right? And Mars and Libra is usually difficult, but it is. But if it's channeled into something artistic, creative, diplomatic, it can be really, really good, especially of service. Um, and then I mean, there's just so much, like Jupiter being in trying to the Sun is one of it's one of the best aspects. Just makes someone gives tons, like very happy go lucky energy, very popular, like very, very popular, um good for success. But then there's that tendency for self-indulgence, right? But the Jupiter is in the eighth house, so it's pushing you towards, and it's retrograde, so like very internally philosophical, um, right? But it's pushing you towards that kind of like in Sagittarius, where it's in dignity, towards that big picture, understanding. But then it's like a lantern in the 8th house that lights up the fields, the areas of life that most people are afraid of, like the occult, the esoteric. And like I said, it's very good for like benefiting from other people's resources. Lots of people with inheritance have that, blah blah. But as I was saying, with all these really smooth flowing blue aspects, you need a little bit of red. You need that opposition. And this is where, if you didn't have this, if you just had these 2 grand trines and no red aspects in your chart, then we're kind of in trouble because the person just has so much talent. It's like, where's that cosmic kick in the ass? Yeah. So that is the main one would be the opposition of the energetic 29-degree Mercury opposite Uranus, and then Venus opposite Neptune, but then it's kind of like both are opposing both. So yeah. And then the sun is even opposing Uranus, which is interesting. So I guess we can talk about the sun one, and just say that that's the rebel, and a lot of people with that, they feel like other people are trying to, or like it can be the father figure, or just in general, it creates a very unpredictable person who feels that other people are trying to squash their individuality. So it creates a rebel. So there's a need to find that balance between like the needs of other people, which having that Mars in Libra helps. So it's like a rare time where I'm like, yo, Mars and Libra is really coming in clutch. But yeah, balancing like the needs of other with your own kind of need for individualism, right? Okay, that's out of the way. Aspect patterns here. Now let me get my actual displayed points back. This one, yeah, okay. So as I was saying, hold up. Hold up. Oh my God, you got your chart. This is gonna be like the longest fucking reading ever. So yeah, Mercury opposite. Okay, let's start with Mercury. How about that? Okay. So Mercury, we talked about this already, the communication. So Mercury opposite Uranus, that could be like the genius energy. Now you have Chiron in Virgo, which is like I was gonna guess you either have Chiron in Virgo or Chiron in Gemini. Basically brimming with all these original ideas, very inventive, very different. Sometimes people with this try to thrust their own ideas onto others too much, and they'll like just go to crazy extents. But also, anything with Uranus and Mercury, it's genius energy. So, but it's also it can be controversial. So, basically, like you'll defend your views, and a lot of people with this like won't have that. That they'll be very subjective. They won't be able to see the other person's side. So once again, Libra Moon or Mars coming in clutch. So it's about learning like respect all forms of communication, all forms of thought, um, and know that like you know, learning like yeah, being like some people with this and with the sun opposite Uranus, like it's like they're gonna do automatically like what the opposite of what they're supposed to do is. But it's about like being able to look at things objectively and be like, okay, maybe even if that person gave me that advice, even if dad said I should do this, let's think maybe he's right, you know? That's kind of what I'm saying. So then Mercury, Neptune. So it's still like 5.5 degrees. That one you have to watch out because you can get really seduced into believing other people's ideas and merging your thoughts with other people. The post I just made is relevant to you, not the last one that two posts ago about like being Neptunian. It can make one very confused and need to spend time alone to really figure out what thoughts are theirs, what thoughts are not theirs. And yeah, my Mercury hard aspect Neptune can really see everything from a very hold up. Yeah, they can really see everything from a very what's the word I'm looking for? Like there can be a lot of fog and confusion around their view of things, right? So you kind of have to you have a vivid imagination, but it can be very paranoid. And there's a big need wait one sec. Hold up. One second. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So, anyways, yes, yes. So yeah, like you can just like imagine so much stuff, be very paranoid. It's very important to have like a very like grounded friend or someone you can talk to. Um, you can be really good with like the high art, like abstract artistic stuff, but then when it comes to like the easier shit, um, like just tripping. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my girlfriend has Mercury square Neptune, and it, like it's tumultuous. Like it's difficult as fuck because um like she will just like get paranoid about shit that like makes no fucking sense. I'm not gonna get into any like examples, but she'll like recently there's something that happened and uh like it was very obvious that literally like it nearly like ruined everything. But like it was like just started from this like weird paranoia, right? Um which of course is reflected by insecurities, reflected by things like that, but like it just has a very strange effect on the mind, right? So like different environments, really important, but to be like in the right environment with the right people. Um, so yeah, conscious awareness of this potential flaw is really important. You have to ask for advice, double check, seek a second opinion, take your time. Whenever you don't feel like totally good about something, like just don't do it, right? And a big part of this is like incorrectly perceiving the other person's like intentions, right? Or character traits even. So yeah. But the rest of your chart, like, you need this. And also like so many famous people have this because it's like really good for music, writing, anything artistic. Also even good for politics. So yeah. The other, so yeah, that's that. So with Venus in Neptune, it's like rose-colored glasses in love, basically, right? People who have that, they need to watch out when they start in relationships because they can be very overly idealistic and think, oh, this was my twin flame, blah blah blah, and then like, yeah, take your time. There's no rush, and just know that people who have that, they have a tendency to to kind of like think this is it. And there can be lots of conflict in the relationships because but that comes from that lack of discernment, right? Like, and it's like there's like a web of fantasies and romantic illusions that can lead to that person becoming easily deceived in their romantic relationships, right? So the big Venus Neptune, there's a huge need for a creative outlet because any aspect of those two is the most creative of creative. But yeah, just like that's dangerous. Whenever I see Neptune involved in love, I'm like, yo, like just take it easy. Like literally, just things like might not be as they seem, you know. Um, really, really take things slow. You don't know what you have until you live with the person, etc. So then Venus, Uranus, that just makes you kind of like like it creates difficulty with like the balance between like that closeness and that independence in relationships, being your own person and kind of, yeah, being one. So it's difficult for commitment, people who have that a lot of times. So yeah, but it's a major talent, like super talent, like major talent. But you have to really learn to appreciate that kind of talent because it's not going to be like the norm. Maybe something completely random. All right, holy shit, I said so much. So yeah. Um, so Pluto is right on the descendant, meaning that your area where you meet your shadow is relationships. And that, yeah, there can be some darkness that can show up in relationships. And that's meant to be. And yeah, like overall, yeah. Pluto seventh house people, like they need to like not project their own childhood shit onto their partners, but often they do. That's just the reality. I'm getting one of my books. So interestingly, that Sun, Mercury, and Venus are all square nodes, and Uranus is square nodes. So this is some fun pack stuff because let's go back to sharing. Goddamn. Okay. Um, basically, when something is square your nodes, I haven't like really like fully got into your nodes yet. Okay, so it's Scorpio North Node, South Node, 0 degrees, South Node, and Taurus, right? And where are they at right now? They move in the opposite direction of the other planets. Like all planets move this way, they move this way, right? So they move backwards in the zodiac. So right now, it's at the North Node. So it's really close to a nodal opposition for you. So very karmic time. It's gonna be very soon. Um, yeah, that's really interesting. But that, I'm sure hopefully you'll want to add the current astrology I think you got the reading plus follow-up. If you did, I think you did. But yeah, nearly every single person, unless there's like a financial thing, they add what I call it current astrology / spiritual alignment. And instead of just having 1 hour follow-up, we have what becomes around 3 hours, sometimes more. First hour follow-up, all about this natal chart, and then all about the current astrology and spiritual, and it ends up aligning the person spiritually every single time. So I just renamed it because, yeah. I saw something else. So okay. So on that North Node journey, you're trying to move away from the karmic tendency of wanting peace at all costs and not being willing to take risks, right? Simple. So Scorpio North Node in the 7th house is gonna come off as very karmic relationships that yeah, once again, like the Pluto, both being in the same house. You, like I said, you meet your shadow in relationships. And it's through these, Scorpio, its North Node is someone who's meant to take emotional, spiritual risks. So the fact that you have 8th house Jupiter is super, super lucky. And also 1st house South Node people like me, we tend to kind of like to do our own thing. And we're not the best at compromise. So having a North Node in Scorpio, in the 7th house, it's like being able to have intense relationships but stick with them, and learning a little bit of compromise in that area of life. But it's not anything like crazy. But besides that, we'll get more into that later. But let's talk about the squares because they're super important. And I can tell you, like, I don't need this book. I know all this stuff already, but like, I like how he wrote these out. But basically, yeah, like, I'm just gonna go with that. So the sun square the nodes is basically like, it's kind of like the hero's journey in this lifetime. Um, um, you're really, in a sense, um, there's some kind of like redoing something that was very eminent and important to your kind of, I guess you could say, being, that you skipped over in a past life, because that's what the squares are, right? They're skip steps. I want to see what orbs. Yeah, so it's pretty wide orbs you can use. But basically, the whole idea is that this lifetime is like the critical one for the resolution of all of the unresolved material. You need to dive into your shadow. You need to dive into death, rebirth, transformation, allowing yourself to just let go and not always going for like the peaceful escape. Um, so yeah, it's kind of like yeah, it has lots of echoes to like the Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, and a lot of times the person, there can be like a level of like isolation where the person has to like maintain like this vision in the face of isolation or in conflict with like other people in their life. You know what I mean? So it's really like a big challenge to individuate and be their own person. Um, yeah. So, whew, I mean, when you talk about Leo to Scorpio, it's like that square in itself is a fixed one, which is very hard. And that's ego versus soul. Like, that's the best I can put it. Ego versus soul. So, how to resolve that is to dive deep into the soul, and you have a Cancer moon, which is helping you a bunch with this process. So then we have these two, and then even 3, Neptune would definitely count. I don't know why the fuck it wasn't listed. But the moon, no. And yeah. So lots. So Mercury square. Okay, so I see this a lot. I just got done with a client who had this. Like, it's basically like there's interjects like kind of things like unconscious messages you tell yourself that keep you held back. That's the best way I can explain it. In this lifetime, you're meant to explore those. Um and you know, you, like I said, 29-degree Mercury Cancer, with all those talents. You know, like, in what ways do you kind of like still, um, you know, like in what ways, um, is your mental life kind of holds you back, right? Like, a lot of times it's like overly rigid thinking. And I did mention your Chiron in, um, like, you could have just been so ahead of your time when you're younger that you kind of got the idea in your head that you were stupid or that there's something wrong with your thinking. That's common with the Chiron in you know, with all the other stuff I'm seeing. So yeah, some examples would be like overly rigid thinking, just like lacking discrimination, in terms of, like, you know, like what kind of things you're taking on board. But really I see it more as like mostly how it shows up is like interjects, you know, like something flawed in the thinking or interjects, which in psychology is like, yeah, like the like the real like kind of self-critical, um unconscious like messages we tell ourselves about what we can and what we can't do, right? But it can also be like, you know, internalized guilt, internalized shame, things, yeah, um like that. um Also, another potential is communication issues, um and it goes back to that Neptune in Mercury, where it can be like, for example, not trusting other people's opinions, right? um and you have to give yourself that space, because a lot of times, like let's say you are someone that just doesn't trust other people. Well, maybe you had past life memories where you trusted someone and it was them lying to you that had horrible consequences, you know? So there's reasons for all of our behavior from past life. Just know that. The next one was Venus. So um, Venus square nodes. That is an interesting one, right? Because Venus is really about self-love. You have obviously your Venus in Cancer. Um, but yeah, unresolved material, you know, in relation to how you relate to yourself, um, and then how you relate to other people in relationships, right? Um, so it can be like extremes of isolation, like the whole Cancer thing I talked about, going back in the shell. Um, it can be like an excessive transference onto your partner. Um, so like lots of projection. Um, like the tendency to transfer like any of our unresolved issues onto our partner. Um, so yeah. Um, all and sometimes there, yeah, it's just like, it can be also someone who just like needs to learn how to be single, right? Um, and they need to learn to be single because they are that constant serial dater. Um, and something with relationships just didn't work. And, um, you know, they didn't allow themselves that time between relationships and past lives to kind of chill and kind of like, you know, learn, be alone, learn to love and accept themselves for who they are. So, yeah. So yeah, self-love, yeah, like karmic difficulty when it comes to self-love, really tough one. So with Uranus and Neptune, the other side. Um, so let's start with the closest one, Uranus. Yeah. So with Uranus, that is about conditioning and about having a lot of past life conditioning and a need to escape from it in this lifetime, right? Um, yeah, it's basically like people who have this, they were prior lifetime memories where they were just like mega conditioned, you know? Um, and Uranus is also a trauma signature. So yeah, like it's just like when you look at where Uranus is in the ninth house about your beliefs, it shows that in this lifetime with Neptune Uranus there, your beliefs, your higher wisdom, higher philosophies are meant to be spiritual, meant to be different. But in past lives, um, those either got you in trouble or more likely you had you were conditioned and made to believe something that wasn't true that then shaped your worldview, kind of like you see all those brainwashed majority of the population today. um so yeah, also there can be like so yeah, we look at, yeah, it's in Capricorn, yeah. So um the ruler, yeah. um Crisis in terms of like your individualization, right? But basically, like a lot of times, like it's like you start to like kind of like detach yourself from your conditioning, but it runs really, really deep, and either not able to like maintain that process, or remaining blind to like a critical aspect of like how some part of your conditioning imprisons you, right? Um, which blocks the true individuality. Um, Also, there can be like some PTSD here, that blocks access to the true self. And Yeah, it's really, really interesting. So like any kind of like past life regression work can be really, really powerful. Like recovering like the deep unconscious material. And it's not just traumas, it's also gifts, Uranus is yeah. So um with this, it emphasizes the importance of the Uranus opposition, which everyone has at, what's the age? It's like, well, for you, it would be when Uranus gets to 28 Taurus. So a few more years. It's like one of the midlife crises. I think the Uranus opposition. Yeah, I know it is. It's 41. Yeah, 82. It's 41, right? Because it's 82. Let's see if I'm correct. 40 to 42. But yeah. Um. So then there's Neptune. Um. So Neptune. um. Yeah, it's still close, 7 degrees. So this is about meaning in dreams and ideals, right? So I see this one, the skip step is like around loss of meaning and being lied to, like I said before, about the real reality of how things really are, and it kind of leads to like nihilism and loss of life force. So it's beautiful that you're here getting this reading today. You know, that you become who you become. Um, so another way it can have shown up is like an unresolved dream, ideal, something that like you weren't able to like fully like manifest that you really cared about, a lot about, right? Um, and it shows with the Taurus South node that, you know, the tendency to prefer the safe route is there, right? So that's huge. And yeah. So the big thing is yeah, like kind of understand the difference between like, you know, reality and fantasy, you know, objective reality and personal fantasy. So it does require that discrimination. So overcoming that Mercury opposite Neptune transit. Um, so yeah, it's like someone who's like lost their spiritual way and who can kind of wander like meaninglessly, right? In cycles of despair. Sometimes there's like drug addiction, you know, to make up for it, because that's what Neptune rules, or just any kind of escapism. Um, but in rare cases, you know, there can be some level of psychic attack. Um, Someone who's exposed to like those types of forces. So yeah, if that's the case, then not good. Um, so yeah, lots of squares. Very interesting. So, um, I'm approaching 3 hours, which is fucking crazy. But yeah, overall, I mean, we get the main themes. Um, Black with love in a second, you know, don't be greedy with money. Um, and yeah, be responsible with it. And yeah, just like there's a lot I said. I don't want to say I've already said too much, but I was just blown away by that stuff. Okay, just to add in this stuff. So Saturn in Pisces, very heavy carbon this lifetime. It's retrograde, so it's kind of like this lifetime is like a do-over in some respect of the last lifetime. We see this in different ways. Um, Midheaven in Pisces, you want to make a spiritual contribution to the world, and be a part of a group of people who, you know, rock with you and who are, you know, really your soul tribe now, and work with them. Now, Saturn 11th house, usually you don't meet your soul kind of fam until after the Saturn return. It depends. Um, it's like fewer but better friends is the mantra. I know a lot of people with this, and they all are like that, you know. But like you have so many aspects of like high popularity that it's tough to know. Okay, let's run. I really talk about Venus in your Juno, which is in Sag. Well, your Venus is in Cancer, so you know you want someone who, you know, like security, you know, security. Financial, emotional security is very much needed, and your moon sign backs that up. And also having like a strong intellectual connection where and also a connection where you're able to really talk about your truest vulnerable emotions. So someone who has that wall up, I don't think it's gonna work for you, to be honest. I don't know. Juno, which is like your ideal mate, is in Sag in the eighth. So you want someone who can go deep, like I just said, but who's also your exploration buddy. Um, and someone, yeah, so they don't have to be spiritual, but they have to at least be open to the idea of, and not push you away from your spiritual journey, because it's such a big part of your life. And then, you know, with Pluto on the descendant, like I said, darkness can show up, but you'll have very powerful life changing relationships. They're very fated. um so yeah, like getting away from the karmic tendency to want peace and quiet at all costs. Yeah, just not resisting change. I don't know what you are in HD human design, but if you are a generator, learning to only accept the right the right invitations, right? Not pushing. It's only manifestors, but I don't know what you are. We can talk. Yeah, I don't know. Follow up. Maybe I can look it up, or you can look it before. So yeah, it's like you really have to go through this kind of letting go of the ego-centeredness, compensate, but also understand that your life, one of the major themes is letting go of the old to make room for the new. Like you're not an average person at all. Your chart is fucking like insanely magical. Like it's just God speaking through astrology. Like the odds of this, like mathematically, like I couldn't even imagine. It's insane. Um, then you have Sirius on your IC in Virgo, so you like to be nurtured via like information. You feel cared for when other people help you perfect your skills. And when you're of service to other people, you like to nurture other people by being of service. And like yeah, you feel nurtured when people do like the little things that really matter to you. And it's on the IC, so it's like that speaks to like kind of the early family experience, environment, whatever, blah blah blah. So yeah, I mean, Series in Virgo on the IC, someone who cares a bunch about their family, right? It's kind of like a second moon, but not as important, and their moon's already in Cancer, so like yeah. Palace investor both in Leo, kind of rounding out the asteroids. So obviously that's where your sun is, fourth house. Palace is like your third eye, so in Leo in the fourth, it gives a very creative mind. Someone who likes to play with their words, um, likes to have fun with their work, because Vesta is the work, and who likes to, it's the home is very important, very important. Like you find a lot of your creativity from, maybe your family inspires you, or just being when you're grounded, and not just at your home, but within yourself, your internal home. And you like expressing your creative ideas at home. Vesta in the fourth in Leo is like someone who is super committed, once again, to their family and to their home, and who can really look after family members, and yeah, who maybe had like extra responsibilities as a child, but that's preparing them for like a role as a leader later in life. So yeah, and in Leo, you prefer to work alone, basically. Um, yeah, and play, like you want like play and work to merge as one. You want the thing that you do for fun, to be what you do for work. So yeah. Um, Mars in the sixth, it pushes you to kind of have like a approach your daily routine and daily life with vigor. Um, there can be fights with coworkers and people you work with, but it also pushes you to be of service. Where's my other crystal? So that's important. And it's in Libra, so you are very diplomatic, and I talked about that before. But like the thing with Mars and Libra that sucks is the indecisiveness. So you gotta like find that strong value system to that will be like the like more like that will kind of be the basis for all your answers. Um, so yeah, and definitely yeah, benefiting from daily exercise, and a lot of people with Mars in the sixth, they push their body really, really hard. So yeah, don't go too hard. Don't go too hard. Um, yeah. So I think Ceres in the fifth with Chiron in the fifth, like you can, yeah, like children can be very healing process for you having children, but you can also experience some pain from it somehow. But Ceres kind of makes it so like you'll have a very strong emotional attachment to the children, blah blah blah. And like yeah, like there's lots of healing that you'll be able to really be the healer for your children. If you have children, and they'll have a very healing energy with you. Um, so yeah, I already talked about the ninth house having Uranus and Neptune there. It's like your worldview is very, 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 very linked to your own individuality and linked to your own spirituality. So that is yeah, obviously very, very important. And you'll have your own unique views, which maybe you didn't have in past lives or you were able to have. So yeah, it's very important. And aside from that, I have touched on everything. One of my longest this has to be one of my longest readings ever. But there's so much in your chart, like fuck, like so much. Um, so yeah, I look forward to. I think you got the follow up, right? Definitely, unless finances are like a big thing, and it was like yeah. So okay, I didn't even tell you the price. So usually it's 380. I would do it for 250 for you to add the follow up, or not just follow. You already had the follow up. To add the current astrology, I can't stress enough how much I advise it. It's literally like if you're gonna go through just the experience, why not go all the way? Because that is 3 hours on Zoom. It's not a long wait like this. Like it's just my next available schedule or day that I can schedule, which usually is not that long at all. And yeah, so either way, take your time with this and get back to me. And god damn, this is a fucking hard one. I'm gonna put in between to nicotine. There's no tobacco on here. Don't do this. You shouldn't do this. I don't get addicted to nicotine somehow. It's fucking weird. That I just never have. My family does. Although maybe this time I am, but it's nicotine, so whatever. YOLO. Or not YOLO, because you live more than once. But you get the point. All right. Well, yeah. So I just want to thank you. Like this is crazy. Like I was just like, oh my God, for a lot of this, because like what is happening? And you see how I have my you see how I have everything set up, right? This is definitely close to a 3 hour reading. I'm too crazy. So you see how like some of these are like, this is an asteroid, this is an asteroid, like when I go like this, did I already show you this? I can't remember. That's where you see the fucking beauty, right? Because I removed all the things that wouldn't count. Um, so like just look at that. Just look at that. Maybe meditate on this image. I'm gonna actually screenshot this, but maybe meditate on this image, you know? Also, wait, hold up. I think that's a mystic rectangle. Like here, 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 and this has to, yeah, Jupiter, Mars, ascendant, Saturn. Fuck. Oh my God. Yeah, your chart, like, let me just double check that. Because like I told you, I'm not like, yeah, I was correct. So when four or more planets are connected by opposition, wait, what? Oh no, wait, wait. No, no, yeah, it is. Because, wait, hold up. Um, yeah, because Saturn is opposite Chiron. So it might be with ascendant opposite Pluto. So it's ascendant, um, Saturn, Pluto, and then Chiron, right? Yeah. So, oh my God. So, um, let's talk about this. Keep going, why not? Um, so I'm gonna read you about this because I'm fucking dead. Um, so yeah. So it gives an ambivalent attitude, a dualistic world outlook, and a tendency to think in black and white terms. Sometimes absolutist either or attitude can provide a tendency to argue. In the mystic rectangle aspect pattern, a tense red cross is surrounded by calm blue aspect. The high energy oppositions produce a lot of tension and activity. The harmonious aspect brings resolution to any conflict, but can also mask an unsettled inner nature. The calm exterior may fool others into thinking you have it all together, but don't fool yourself. Recognize or admit the source of your red inner tension, which I talked about those oppositions. Um, there's all of them, like ascendant opposite Pluto, right? Um, or Pluto setting. Yeah. Um, so lots of talents. Um, that's charged with attention of the two oppositions. Um, so the two oppositions, blah blah. So yeah. So it says, just as one cannot see the contents of a sealed envelope, a mystic rectangle makes you seem impossible to read or understand. It makes you outwardly calm, balanced, and righteous, and only rarely betrays your internal tensions and problems. You're often unaware of your effect on others, as you are too preoccupied with your internal problems. You're busy trying to keep up a good outward appearance. You don't accept that anyone else can have problems because you don't want to have any yourself. This attitude is more common in superficial people, not you. That part doesn't make any sense with all the other things I talked about, Cancer Moon. And yeah, on the other hand, if you try to identify your inner problems and solve them, you'll tend to suggest most perfect possible solutions to those around you. Healer. The motivation is clear. You want to spread harmony and acquire harmony. It's not always easy in a world full of contradictions and full of energies, but it is reasonable. It is not that you must stop always looking for meaning. Instead, you must always recognize the meaning and value of things, but you might have trouble letting go. If your sensuality is aroused, you react very devotedly, for you can feel pleasure and know the value of relaxation. However, that can be too much, like a wet sponge. You then find a private retreat and brood. If you suffer no notices, for externally you only show your balanced blue side. You can be very affectionate, but still hold back. You can have a harmonizing effect on those around you. When settling disputes, you instinctively ensure everyone agrees with you, Libra Mars. Your great sensitivity enables you to be considerate and provide constructive energies. You process a natural therapeutic gift. The two red diagonals mean everything is controlled centrally, and all life processes are ultimately subject to your will. So it makes you very intelligent and practically oriented. Practical thinking and clear standards are combined in the search for meaning. Your receptive to and accepting abilities show a special gift of strong sensations and feelings. Your artistic side shows aesthetic sensibility and a feeling for art and beauty. However, you do have a depressive prevailing mood because life can be so tricky and yet so beautiful. You're a perfectionist who wants to please everybody and also possesses a deep understanding of human nature. You're popular and those around you appreciate your passive presence. Sometimes you can be controversial to relax other people and to be able to reveal more depth. You can quickly get someone back onto their feet from the depths of despair, as we talked about. You aim to show meaning to life and help to keep the person on track. And it talks about last part of it is ambivalence. As a blah, 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 the mystic rectangle only knows two states of extremes: strong, weak, and harmonious, tense, extrovert, introvert, black, white, cold, good, bad, and so on. Your willpower combines with substance and collected experiences can be changed. Due to its fourfold symmetry, the mystic rectangle is practically unassailable. You can ride out any storm, mental pressure, or emotional discharge, even when you have previously suffered from it. Your blue cushioning lets you weather every blow and return to your familiar form after an adaptation phase. You seem to have something unchangeable and constant in your life, and therefore behave quite conservatively. The symmetrical rectangle consists of 4 triangles, therefore the ability to settle conflicts and differences is multiplied by 4. Indeed, you know no other way. Insight, logic, or knowledge are not very helpful by themselves. You either do something and gain valuable experience, or you forget it. The 4 triangles work like a windmill, giving the impression that you are stuck in a perpetual loop. You rarely have to make an effort to decide, and the wheel of life revolves again and brings you the experience anyway. The mystic rectangle can look like an envelope with a seal in the middle of a window reinforced with 2 crossbars. This suggests you are guarding something with your impenetrable all-around vision. Secrets, old and forgotten knowledge, or something about another person, question mark. Your fascination grows according to how you go about learning about spiritual matters. You probably have a mystical disposition, Jupiter 8th house, and all that other stuff. The 2 oppositions give a high energy potential with which the conflict between the inside and outside can be expressed creatively. The internal pressure caused by the oppositions can sometimes lead to a breakdown, and if the inner tension is not diffused, the substance is lost. Sometimes the bottled up internal pressure leads to mental confusion, which I talked about with the Mercury and Neptune. Then there's a conversion, a transformation. This leads to a wholesale abandonment of everything that was important before, thus enabling a spiritual rebirth. Something of higher value is then present and can be given to the world through the blue aspect. Mystic rectangle astrology is actually helpful. There are 4 harmonious blue aspects and only 2 challenging red ones. When the challenge of the oppositions are consciously recognized and dealt with, they can be overcome and inner harmony achieved. When the talents and potential of the mystic rectangle are realized, significant achievements are possible that benefit many people. So, goddamn. Whew. What a fucking chart. Oh my God. You were right. That was a lot. That was a lot. I was not expecting that. I go into each reading blind. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So, because yeah, like, I mean, the mystic triangle would, kind of go. I mean, it's part of, it's part of the Star of David, right? It's just one part of it. So it's crazy shit. And then, you also have you have like so many then you also have a kite, you know? Like if I look at your you have like literally so many aspect patterns. You have a kite, which is the grand trine with the opposition down the middle, and then the two sextiles, right? So like I just realized that too. So it all goes back to the Star of David. But like it's worth kind of talking about um each one. But I'm correct, right? Yeah. When three planets in a chart form a grand trine and the fourth planet opposes it, yeah. So Kaipan Charmaine trine, but the fourth planet. So I kind of already talked about this, like how like the grand trine can be a little bit complacent, but then like the opposition kind of gives that like push to do something about it, right? And the planet, I remember like the planet known as the focal point often forms a point of emphasis for the native with this pattern. And um, for you, the focal point would be hold up. It would be like the bottom part, right? It would be the the Mercury / Venus, because it's like both of them. So um, a place that they can channel the talents inherent in the grand trine. Yeah, so like I said, nays of the grand trine can lack the motivation to live up to their potential. Nays of the kite aspect in their chart are often driven with significant energy for realization of the gifts and vision. So it makes perfect sense, and it doesn't really add. I mean, to have a kite, it's just like all part of the Star of David, right? They're all aspects of it. Hey, Miko, I know. Here's Miko. Vote for Miko when the contest happens. It's gonna be a big deal. Um, let's see. And because it is water, Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it just adds that kind of motivation, not be complacent. Um, so yeah, like I said, the planet in the grand trine that is being opposed becomes the focal point. Oh, so it says it's the part of the grand trine that's being opposed. So it would be the Uranus. Let me think about this for a second. There's two grand trines. There's one kite here. So two. Yeah, because it's being opposed. Okay, I see. But because there's two grand trines, it goes both ways. Because in this grand trine, yeah. So it's like there's two. It's like a double kite. Oh man. Yeah, here it's clearly the focal point. If you turn around, yeah. So yeah, there's two kites because it's the Star of David. So it's two kites. So it kind of pushes. The crazy part is that these all square your nodes too. So yeah, it's like the individual of the kite is likely to sense that there is something more, but may not be aware of how to tap into their talents, constantly finding the motivation for the best expression in that kite configuration may be more difficult for the individual. And it goes both ways, Mika, no. So yeah, it's like having the earth grand trine and having the water grand trine, just with added motivation. Um, because from this standpoint, Uranus / Neptune is a focal point, but from this standpoint, Venus and Mercury are. So yeah, it's like I mean the point stays the same from the Star of David, right? It's like all these talents, um, but yeah, the oppositions overall are what give you that push. And without them, if like the oppositions didn't exist, which would mean that you wouldn't have the Star of David, there could be, yeah, lots of complacency. If you just had like two random grand trines, you know, like typically when I have grand trines or two, like I said, one will be here and the other will be here. They won't be just so aligned like this. So conclusion, you know, you have a fucking unique as hell chart. And I definitely can't wait to talk to you and learn about how this all contributes. And then like having the unaspected moon on top of that, I mean, it trines your midheaven, but still like, that's kind of like the part of your chart where it's like being, you know, really giving you balance in the sense of like being able to meet your emotional needs. And then like the trine of the moon in midheaven is giving someone like that kind of intuitive knowledge of like where they're headed in life. And usually the mother kind of helps them a lot in that search. And it makes one really able to choose a career that suits them and that kind of enables them to, in your case, with the midheaven in Pisces close to Fomalhaut, to make that real like positive contribution to society and the one that fits you and your emotional needs the most. So pure fucking magic. Pure magic. Like, wow. Yeah, I've never seen a chart like this. I keep staring at it. And then even with like Saturn the 11th, it's like it could be, you know, after your Saturn return, which, you know, it's coming. So also I would recommend getting it's barely, it's like, you know, it would be like I would just do like instead of 250, like 265. To get like a Saturn return reading too with the current astrology. Where I can pull the Saturn return chart and see what the main themes are with that. That's, you know, Saturn just entered Pisces, and that's where your Saturn is at 24 Pisces. So it's gonna be a while before it gets to the 24. But, you know, a lot, like I think Saturn 11th house can also make it so like your life purpose, like you kind of grow into it, and there's lots of trial and error, but your Saturn return is really like when you start to really open the doors to like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. You know what I mean? But like the healing potential of this chart is insane. Just the potential, like in general, it's just like you're clearly here for a very, very important reason. And that's shown in so many fucking ways. It's insane. So thank you. This is special. And I'm gonna, I don't even know. I'm kind of on fire. I want to do like another reading, but after this, I might have to chill for a little bit. You know, what have I done today? Woke up, started writing, made a post, had a follow up, wrapped the follow up, did a 10-minute video with my client yesterday. They sent me an email. that there's one question I didn't fully respond to. You know, I did, but not like. And then I went straight to this, and now it's 2 a.m. And the college basketball final is at 4. Yeah, so I'm imagine if this just wasn't recording. That'd be fucked up. But this is probably over a 3-hour reading. But like, I don't know how it couldn't be. Anyways. Oh. Well, I hope you enjoyed. You chose the right man for the job, because I really think that, not to shit on other astrologers, I just don't know how many could look at this chart. And I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess this is like, because like aspect patterns are something that like I've always intuitively understood, but you know, maybe I really need to like take the, like make like a post about aspect patterns, you know? After this, maybe that's like God being like, yo, you need to like really not just use your intuition with them, like really dial in and kind of learn about yeah. But wow. I feel if there's anything. Amazing. All right, thank you. You'll have this reading forever. Remember that astrology is an interplay of free will in the chart. And the chart is the hand you were dealt. Your free will determines what you do with it. So you can have a chart that's magic like this, but you know, you ultimately determine like what manifestation of each part of the chart you're gonna manifest, you know. So nothing, yeah. Nothing is just set in stone, like, yeah. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Ciao.